Okay, so welcome to this amazing call. This is, we're talking about the burning the fat and the priorities of the body and fat burning. And with an emphasis on Sunrider herbs, which each of my guests and I have used for many years. Now, I have been a Sunrider for 20 years. Trudy introduced me to Sunrider, and it's made an amazing difference in my life. I have gained an evenness of temperament most of the time. I can be a bit fiery still. I have also no pain. I wake up in the morning and I have zero pain. And I used to have, 20 years ago, I had pain in my hips, pain in my knees. And, that's a thing of the past. So I just love the Sunrider products. And it has also helped me with weight management. I have more muscle than I used to. I haven't as dramatically lost weight as Trudy and Brad, but they're going to tell you their stories. And so I'd like to introduce Trudy.
Thank you so much, Diana. I was introduced to Sunrider products 21 years ago and Sunrider business 20 and a half years ago. Love helping other people, help them to burn the fat. I don't have a before picture. I'm hoping that Brad does, but my before story, before Sunrider, I was 56% body fat. I had my body fat, 56% body fat. That's absolutely appalling. More than half of my body was fat. I was really tired and sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so when I started eating the Sunrider foods, I had no idea how incredible when you're nourishing, balancing, and cleansing your body every day, how your body reaches a healthier balance, and that's regeneration. And so for me, it was a very gradual process. I pretty much started burning fat within a month or two, not realizing I started dropping sizes of clothes from size 22 to size 20 to 18 to 16. And it wasn't a cheap process, and I'll tell you why, because I had to keep getting a new wardrobe.
I remember that.
It was fantastic. And I went down to size 12, and I have stayed there for the next 20 years. It's wonderful. My body fat has dropped from that 54% body fat down to 30% body fat, a really healthy body fat for a woman of my age. So it's amazing.
I love it, Trudy. Thank you so much. You're an inspiration to everybody. And now I want to put up the before and after pictures of our wonderful guest, Brad. And I have to just find this.
I love technology.
I know. I had it here.
I would have sent you a before picture, but it was such a long time ago that nobody would recognize me.
I know. Actually, I was
oh my goodness.
Isn't that incredible? So Brad, that was in 2013, and April 2016 with Craig Holliday, who is a Sunrider consultant. You can see that he'd lost a little bit of weight already, and actually his suit was getting too big for him. And then this was just this month, a week ago. Look at Brad's face, and anyway, but you can see him in person now. So I'm going to introduce Brad. I'm going to stop this screen, and I would like Brad to come on, please.
Thanks very much, Diana. And yeah, that picture of the suit in the middle there was. I bought that suit last April, believe it or not, just before I started back into the program faithfully. I've been involved with Sunrider since 1992. And when I first got involved, I wasn't in really bad shape as far as weight was concerned. And I was using the foods faithfully till about 95, 96. And then through some circumstances in my life, I pretty much stopped everything except Cali and New Plus. And the odd time I'd have Fortune Delight and Quinery. So there's other background noise happening.
Yes, if each person could please mute yourself, that would be great.
So I started back into the full program, what I call the full program, last April with Jim's encouragement, and I started using the SunTrim Plus and the Metashaper along with regular New Plus, and I was drinking Cali for the most part, and then Fortune Delight just in the summer times, because I was thinking of it as an iced tea kind of drink, right? So I'd swap my Cali for Fortune Delight, and I think I made just about every mistake that there was to make. I wasn't eating really terrible. Like throughout the years, I've never drank soda pop. I don't drink coffee, no alcohol. You know, I'm very clean living in those ways. But I love my ice cream. I love my chocolate chip cookies at night. Before I went to bed, I'd eat 5 of them. You know, I dip them in skim milk, of course, because skim milk's better than whole milk. And then in the morning, I get up and I have my own chickens here, so I justify eating bacon and eggs every day, 5 days a week. And that's the bad diet. That's the worst of it. And, you know, I'd go for pizza 2 or 3 times a week, and a couple times a week I'd end up at the Dairy Queen here and have a burger and with onion rings and a shake. So especially after I retired in 2012, I think I packed on an extra 20 pounds after 2012 that I retired. And that picture, that first picture with the brown shirt on with the big gut, kind of shows that off. So what I didn't realize until I came out of the fog here in a very big way in just the last couple of weeks is that, you know, I was brewing this cocktail down there in my guts that really wasn't serving me very well. And I went on the SunTrim in April and the Metashaper and more Cali, and started consciously, took the cookies out of my diet, cookies and milk at night. That, you know, I did one thing at a time. And after I overcame that, then I quit the bacon and eggs in the morning, and I replaced that with whole grain cereal, like Alpen cereal and whatnot. And I didn't realize that I was just replacing one thing that was bad for me for another thing that might have been a little bit better, but was still bad for me. And I noticed some pretty good results. By the time July came around, I think I dropped about 20 pounds. So I stopped using SunTrim and stopped the Metashaper. Packed 10 more pounds on until about October. And that's when I decided to get serious. SunTrim Plus, Metashaper, added Metabooster. And Jim gave me the Fortune Delight epiphany. You know, he said, Brad, what are you doing? You should be drinking Fortune Delight all the time. And now I do. So I've taken most of this weight off, not in just a year, but it's been more like 7 months. And I've taken wheat out of my diet pretty much completely. I'm still partial to pizza. I love my pizza. It's like my last holdout. And now I'm down to about 2 a week. But I don't have bread with gluten in it anymore. And just in the last 2 weeks, I've eliminated fruit from my diet, taken it out completely. And what I believe that's done for me is it stopped the mass of brewing, fermenting, not good stuff down there. And it's given me the better mental clarity. All along since last April, I've also been eating Top Joy and Ease. So, you know, I don't know. I could go on all day about it, but at the end of the day, I didn't want to take on too much too soon and just take out all the bad stuff. So I would take one thing out that was bad for me and bring something good in and until it was overcome. And then I'd change and do another thing and then another. So I'd done it gradually. And I've had to take 2 links out of this watch just in the last week. I had to have it, a new battery put in, and I had to have 2 links taken out of the watch. I bought a brand new belt a year ago. There's 2 more holes I had to cut in the belt. And the pants I'm wearing, they're 34 I don't know if you can see them. They're size 34 waist. I've been wearing 36 for almost 20 years. I had these pants. I couldn't throw them away because I'm kind of a hoarder, but they wouldn't fit me anymore. And I got into them a couple weeks ago for the first time, and they're not tight. So it's pretty cool. And I was in a restaurant the other day with a person in my downline, and there's these, the waitresses they're checking me out. I couldn't believe it. Like I'm 3 times their age. You know what I mean? It's hilarious.
I love it. You're awesome, Brad. Thank you so much. That's so inspiring. And I just love it. I wish we had more time, but maybe we'll do another one where you even add more of your tips and the way that you have done this. Is very inspiring. And what I love is that you are taking it, you took it slowly. And I think that that's what Trudy's going to tell us too, is that the body has its own priorities. We can't just force it to burn the fat. So you have to really get healthy to a great extent first. So
yeah, let me just add, Diana, that the Sunrider foods I think are the best thing on the planet, but they're not a miracle cure. I have to do my part too. Like I had to do that, and it takes discipline. And Jim was on my case. Thank God.
Yeah,
he helped me. So
absolutely.
my sponsor was in my corner. So that's pretty important. The foods, they're not gonna. The miracle starts with my attitude and how bad I want it.
Absolutely. So I'm going to put up this. I'm going to share my screen, and I just have to find the document that I wanted to show everybody. Can you see that? Fat and priorities of the body. So a healthy body, you've got a total body nutrition,
I'm not seeing anything on the screen, Diana.
Oh. Okay.
That's okay. While you're looking for it, I've got a little joke for people.
Okay.
Yeah, I found this yesterday, and I thought this is quite funny. And it says, every man thinks that every woman's dream is to find the perfect man. If only they knew that every woman's dream is to be able to eat without getting fat.
It's my dream. So Trudy, can you see this now? And Brad?
I can.
So Trudy's going to talk about this. Do you mind? Go over this for us, Trudy, and then I'm trying to move it up and down. Darn.
I have another way to do it, Diana, that may work for people.
You've got something you can hold up. Okay.
No, I've got something that I'll give them some homework. So I encourage everyone to get a piece of paper.
Great.
And a pencil. Just a blank sheet of paper and a pencil or something. And so I just want, if you do it like, if I'm going to explain it so you can draw yourself a picture. Because when you do it, all of a sudden it settles into our brain as well. So in the center of your page, I want you to draw a little circle. Right in the center of the page, a little circle. And in that little circle, I want you to write heart. Just like your heart. And I want you to put a number 1 inside that heart. Okay? We have got a priority in our minds. When we want to be slim and we want to look really, really great in that bathing suit, many of us go on diets. D-I-E-T. The first 3 letters of that are die. Really what you're doing is you're really cutting back on a lot of calories and intake of consumption of nutrition in order to look good in that bathing suit. But by doing that, you're depriving your body of super nutrition that it needs in order to function really, really well. And I think of that as most people that are overweight, and it's not necessarily over fat, but you could be over fluffy. You're carrying a lot of toxins around in your body. We are there because of malnutrition. We're not getting the right nutrition in our body, so we get cravings for all sorts of foods that aren't good for us, like Brad with his cookies and milk and his pizza and everything else. And I really applaud him for what he's done. It's just been amazing. So our body has a priority of what's really, really important. I may have a priority in my mind as, wow, I really want to burn this fat off my body. I want to get rid of that last cellulite and I don't want it on my body. And our body's saying, you know what, the most important thing is that we're going to keep the heart beating. That's why you drew the circle with the heart with the number 1 in it. Around that little circle, I want you to draw a larger circle. And that larger circle is going to represent our lungs, our respiratory system. So you can write lungs in there with a number 2 beside it. And that's the priority of the body. It wants to keep your heart beating. It wants to keep you breathing. Number 3 would be our circulatory system. And these are major organs. And major organs can even, in this case, of course, we're referring to kidney, bladder, liver, all of those major organs, but we also want to feed the brain. We want to keep the brain really healthy. You want the nutrients to go into your brain that your brain needs. So that's number 3. That's your 3rd circle would be in there. You can see your circle's getting bigger. Your number 4th circle is your digestion. Getting your digestion. If you can't break down the foods that you're eating or digest them and absorb the nutrients, then you're in big trouble. Now, remember, my priority may have been to burn fat. Have you seen that in any of these circles so far? We're going to have your heart beating. We're going to have your lungs breathing. We're going to have your brain and your organs fed. You're going to nourish your digestive system and have your digestion be strong and healthy. That's more of the priorities of the body. So it must be getting right close to burning fat by now, shouldn't it? No. Number 5, you're going to have another bigger circle, and that's going to be number 5. And number 5 is going to be your circulation. So if nothing can circulate through your body, you can be absorbing nutrition, but the nutrition's not being able to go into the cells and the garbage coming out of your cells, then your body is not going to be healthy. And our body's priority is to be as healthy as it possibly can so that it can get to that burning fat stage. So here we are at number 5, which is our circulation and our, I said that wrong. It's our immune system. I'm sorry. Now, so you get to scribble on your piece of paper and put down immune system in there. I should keep my notes in front of me.
That keeps us alert, Trudy. That keeps us alert.
You're drawing one more big circle around all of those, and it's our cleansing and elimination. This is to improve the integrity of all the cells in your body. Your body wants to be a nice, clean, fresh flowing stream, not a sludgy sewer system. So we want to have that cleansing and elimination happening all the time in a natural manner. And it's this system really is our garbage drain for our whole body. So you know what? We're still not burning fat, are we? Because the body has to keep the heart beating and the lungs breathing and your brain fed and your digestion going and your immune system and all of those things have to be healthy before our body will make a priority of burning fat. And now you're going to have one more circle. By this time, you're probably just about out of your page. And this would be your fat management. And fat is really important in our body. We do need to have some fat in our body to be healthy. And it's our body's way of storing reserve energy for famines and stress. So most of us must be, really storing for a serious famine coming up because we're carrying around way too much fat. And so fat management is pretty much the last priority of the body. Now, if you take a look at a person who's really, really ill, I'm going to use an example of, sadly, my brother passed away many years ago from cancer. And as he was dying, he lost a lot of weight off his body, and he didn't go on a diet. The weight just came off because he was so unhealthy. And so his body was burning fat because it needed everything it could just to stay alive. And then gradually, the cleansing and elimination started to deteriorate. So he was having trouble with that elimination. And his immune system was obviously very, very weak because he was dying of cancer. His digestion went, he got to the point where he just was not hungry. He didn't want to eat. He just wasn't hungry. And then his circulation started going. In the last stages, he slipped into a coma. His brain function was no longer working very well at all. He had lost that ability. Then he quit breathing and his heart quit beating. And it's the same when we die. Those first 3 words in diet, that is what we're doing to our body. We were literally starving it of vital nutrients in order to look good in a bathing suit. So.
Wow. That is so powerful, Trudy. Thank you. Thank you. I definitely had forgotten this powerful way of presenting it. It gets into our brain a lot better. Yeah, I appreciate that. You're welcome. Thank you, Trudy. I wonder if there's any questions. We've got some comments, and people are saying, excellent, Trudy. So that's so great. So
Diana, did you have some notes on Metabooster? Like Dr. Chen's got such a simple program for ways to help your body to start burning fat. And it's in this last sunspot that came out. Do you have that?
I have it.
Yeah.
There we go. Yes.
Yeah.
So that was, in this particular issue, they're talking about Kelly and Fortune Delight. So you drink green teas. That really wakes up your metabolism, and you avoid fad diets. And I've got Metashaper here, but not Metabooster. But Metabooster, do you have a bottle with you?
No, but we can talk about it, Diana. There's a really good little write-up here. Maybe you could share that. Sure.
Metabooster has a fast-acting formula that powers up your body naturally. It contains essential amino acids such as L-arginine and L-carnitine, which support energy production.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's Brad. Brad has the Metabooster. So that's what we're just talking about.
Yeah. Brad, could you read the label on that? How many does it say to eat?
Well, do we really do that? Go by the recommendations? I take 2 twice a day. Recommended use. It's in adults take 2 capsules daily or as directed by a health practitioner. I was taking 3 for the bulk of this weight loss, and just in the last couple of weeks I went down to 2 twice a day.
Perfect.
I was taking 3 twice a day before that.
Yeah. It is food, and you can consume it as you see fit. Absolutely.
And I did all this without exercise, right? Like I just implemented regular exercise routine in the last 5 weeks.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? We're down to our last few minutes here.
And thank you so much for remembering that. We wanted to cover Metabooster because that's really important. And we'll talk about SunTrim Plus, which is one of the ones that Brad used in another call. But the Metabooster really, really does help your metabolism. So that's great.
And I loved the Fortune Delight. Fortune Delight really helps to emulsify fat in your body and to clean it so that it can really get rid of that toxins in the fat. Because when you get rid of the toxins in your fat, that's when you start burning it for fuel. And so you build more muscle and you burn fat, and it's fabulous, fabulous. So the Metabooster helps with that, building more muscle, and the Fortune Delight helps with the getting rid of some of that fat.
And just for the record, I tipped the scales at 252 pounds in February of 2016. And I was regularly about 246, but I tipped it at 252. And I weighed myself 10 days ago. I was 199. I was 202 this morning.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
You must feel wonderful.
Oh, it's great. Like the energy's coming back big time. Big time.
You're looking younger and younger. Like you say, you've got young ladies hitting on you now.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what that's going to do for my reputation.
Okay. Thank you so much, both of you, Brad and Trudy. I couldn't have done this without you. This is amazing. And I love this Sunrider journey we're all on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Bye now.